Whoa, 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 what's up guys? It's Pixelated-Apollo, that weird guy who keeps making Total War videos. Today we are playing Napoleon Total War. This one is a 3 vs 3 and we are on the map called, I don't remember, I forgot the name, but I'll write it right here on the screen so you guys know. I always forget these Napoleon map names, but it looks pretty cool and it's a map that we really don't see too often. It looks like it's a Eastern, maybe even Russian map here. I don't know, just based on the architecture here, but it's a really cool map because one side has a huge advantage, which I think is really cool. I just like battles that are not fair. It makes it more challenging for the other team or other players. So as you can tell, this Prussian army, they've got the city they can defend. Great Britain here in the center, they've got this giant hill, and then over here Prussia, they have a small city they can defend and some strategic positioning on the battlefield. So it's going to be really interesting. Now let's go ahead and look at the factions today. So we'll start on this side. So we have Russia appearing from the trees, marching through the trees. Pretty cool. And then in the center we have Great Britain. So yes, unfortunately we are going to have Great Britain versus Great Britain. Might get a little confusing who's who, but remember to look at the mini map. You got red versus blue, and then over here we have the United Netherlands. So pretty sweet to see them because you don't get to see them all the time. And then of course on this side we have two Prussian armies and Great Britain in the center. So let's start with these army comps and finally dive into this battle. So we might have to pause it here because it does start really quickly. Russia charging forward their hussars here. So Russia, they're bringing some hussars. He's got 1 unit of the 17th Jaeger Regiment and 3 units of the Russian Jaegers. He's got about 4 or 5 units of musketeers. He's got more cav back here like dragoons, and he has 2 units, I believe, of the elite lifeguard foot. This is like the best infantry for Russia. And then for artillery, actually hold on, he's got more cav. He's got tons and tons of cav. He's got the lifeguard horse, and I think he's got the 20-pounder unicorn in the mix. So he is bringing, yes, here it is. Here it is. Here's that unicorn. And then here is his general. So that's pretty much his army. So we'll move on to, actually, let's just pause it. Let's pause it. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to, I don't want to lose out on some action. All right, so Great Britain in the center, bringing some 6-pounder horse artillery. I think he also has a 9-pounder foot artillery back here. Yes. Very nice. And then he has 1 unit of the 42nd Foot, the Black Watch. He's got about 5 units of rifles, so he's bringing a lot of skirmishers to this battle. And then he has about 4 units of foot guards. So a lot of elite units there. So a pretty small army, but elite. And then he has 3 dragoons for his cavalry. And then here is his general staff. And that's pretty much his army. So let's move on to the United Netherlands. So United Netherlands, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units of line infantry. So lots and lots of line infantry there. He's got a couple cav units like the carabiners, so 2 units of carabiners. And then he has some skirmishers in the front. He's got some Nassau Jaegers, so 4 units of Nassau Jaegers. And he's got a general right here. So that is his army. I don't think he's bringing any artillery, which is interesting. Oh wait, no, forget I said that. He's got 2 units of 6-pounder horse artillery, so he's got some very fast artillery. Prussia is moving very aggressive over here. So now looking at the other side, Prussia bringing some Jaegers. He's got some musketeers for his line infantry. He has, let's see, what is it? More musketeers. Some musketeers all over the place, scattered everywhere. He also has some grenadiers back here. Here's his, well, he's got some hussars. Thought that was his general. More Jaegers back here, and he's got his artillery, the 6-pounder horse artillery. So pretty sweet there. So yeah, that's pretty much his force. His general's actually way back here, hiding in the town, chilling out in the town. So Great Britain over here in the center, he's got 5-inch howitzers, 2 units of 5-inch howitzers. He's got some foot guard protecting those howitzers. And then over here on the big hill, he's got some foot. He's got some rifles, and I believe the rest of his line infantry is just foot. So he's really spamming out the foot there. And that's really it for his army. I think he's got some dragoons and his general back here. Now moving on to the final army, and then we can finally get started. So we got Jaegers in the front line for Prussia getting into position, and then he has some 7-pounder howitzer, so 2 units of those. He's got some musketeers running through the city as we speak. Also, we've got some 8th Life Regiment, which is a unique unit there, and then he has some foot guard, which is a very, very good unit for Prussia. And that's pretty much it for the army, so let's press play. Woo! Alright, so I don't think I could have done that any faster. I know some of you guys get pretty bored with the army comps. That's why I have that skip to battle button, which a lot of you guys use. So, I mean, I don't want to not do the army comps because I know some people really enjoy that. They like to see what everyone is bringing for, you know, strategic purposes. But yeah, the battle is going to begin right here with Russia being super aggressive with his hussars. He's going to cross the bridge and get Prussia completely off guard. You can see Prussia, I think they're just freaking out and they're putting stakes down, but they're in the wrong direction. So yeah, that has to be like a freak out right there. Like, oh God, here they come, put stakes. Oh, they're the wrong way, we're getting slaughtered. So yeah, the hussars come in, Russian hussars. I love this aggressive play. This is something you don't see all the time in Napoleon. So this is always really fun to watch. And he is just slaughtering these Jaegers, and he's going to continue on down the row here if he can quickly move before reinforcements show up. You can see here that Prussia's moving in their Lancers. They actually have a lot of cav back here. Lancers and Freikorps going after the force, but Russia's going to go ahead and do a massive retreat here. A lot of their troops are breaking, so that was a little risky, and I don't think it paid off. I really don't. He lost about 2 units of cav, only taking out 1 unit of skirmishers. And they're still getting harassed over here. Let's see what's going on the opposite side. Over on this way, we have the Dutch taking on Prussia. And we do have some bombardment going on. The Nassau Jaegers spraying down the Prussian position. I think Prussia was getting a little too aggressive there, and he's a little bit out of formation. So he needs to quickly form up his troops. In fact, these guys are not even looking the right way. But that's okay. They got a big hill in front of them. There they go. They're turning around. Alright, so here comes that Prussian army, marching forward, putting some suppressing fire on the Nassau Jaegers. And fun fact, I've been to Nassau, Bahamas. So yeah, not quite, you know, the Netherlands, but whatever. Alright, we got a cav charge moving forward from Prussia. He's going to take the risk here, the hussars, and it really isn't that much of a risk because the Dutch have nothing protecting their force right here. So a good charge there. Should be able to break this unit before reinforcements show up. You can see in the back the line infantry trying to quickly move into formation here. So that was a big mistake. You got to be careful with your lights. You don't want to get too aggressive with them without protecting them, having some support nearby, because they can easily get cut down. And it looks like we are having an earthquake. No, I'm just kidding. I think that that camera movement thing is a little crazy at times whenever there's artillery and stuff. But yeah, Prussia's going to continue down this row and just keep on taking out these Nassau Jaegers, which is really unfortunate because they're pretty expensive and they're a very important part to their army. But we've got some crazy stuff going on over here. We have Great Britain charging in their cav and Prussia. So we have a massive cav force charging through the trees, going after the Russian line infantry, actually going after the Russian Jaegers. And now they do have some support over here from the musketeers, which they should be able to take out a lot of those forces, but he needs to retreat those Jaegers as quickly as possible, and he needs to form square formation, which it doesn't look like he's going to. So the cav is going to continue to charge in, and he missed an opportunity there, a big opportunity. He could have wiped out so many cav forces. And look at this, they're just going to run on through and continue to pursue the Russian Jaegers. There are some cav units breaking on the battlefield, but he still has a very healthy unit taking out the Russian Jaegers. And oh, here comes Russia sending in some cav support. Is that more cav coming in? Yes, we have more Prussian cav. The hussars taking out these musketeers. It's too late to form square, and now we actually have some foot getting into position, trying to get an advantage while the Russian musketeers are all confused and disorganized. But I think that's going to be the last of the Prussian cav there. So very intense start, but let's head back over to this side too. I mean, this battle is all over the place. Now we have Great Britain charging in their dragoons on this side. So Great Britain is just all over the place, being a great teammate, supporting his allies in their fight, and just wrecking lives in the back lines, or the back Dutch lines here. So going after those Nassau Jaegers. I mean, I feel so bad for them because this whole battle, they've just been trampled by cav. Oh man, they've got to be pretty pissed with their commander. Like, come on, man, send up some line infantry, do something. But we got a pretty intense line battle here, and it looks like the Dutch I like their formation here. I do. It seems like Prussia's a bit out of formation still. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. This is not a good angle. They could easily lose double the troops here because they're so blobbed up. So, yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. This isn't good right here for the Dutch. They are getting outflanked here with the 8th Life Regiment. Oh, look, you can see that guy's hair right there. Cool. Zoom in too close, you can see through their hats. Alright, so yeah, they're doing a good job. They're breaking this unit. And we already have a dead general on this side. Where was this? Oh, the Dutch getting sniped by the Dragoons. So you got to be careful. I mean, sometimes enemy players, they can do that. They'll sneak up on your general and take him out. Let's continue the fight over here as well because, man, this battle is fast-paced, really quick. I did not expect this. I thought it was going to be a little bit slower pace. Honestly, I didn't expect to see the army that had the advantage in terrain and positioning to be so aggressive. So this is fantastic. Russia seems like they are on the run. They're holding multiple different positions here. And see the musketeers, they're trying to reform, trying to fire back against the British foot there. But it's tough because they're getting double teamed. Let's see what's going on in the center though, because remember, we still have Great Britain who really hasn't seen that much action. It seems like they're going to continue to push in the middle and take out the very small resistance over here because Great Britain on the other side, the red Great Britain, based on the red blocks on the mini-map, they have been sending most of their forces to their allies, so there's really not a lot of troops defending the center, which could be really bad. And we've got a ton of rifles just picking apart the foot back there. Alright, let's see what's going on this side. So Great Britain still holding this strategic position, still bombarding the other Great Britain player. And the Dutch are having a very difficult time. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Look at this fight up close and personal. So yeah, they're having a tough time against Prussia because they're just getting outflanked. And they lost their rifles early on in the game. So United Netherlands, I mean, the United Netherlands, they're not a great faction. You know, they're not the strongest faction, so this is not good for them. It's going to be pretty tough for them to recover from this. I do hear some screaming, though. It looks like we got the Freikorps charging in. Oh, man, I love their uniforms, too. The black uniforms going for the line infantry. Will they form square, though? It looks like they're trying. I don't know. Oh, well, nope. They're breaking. The Freikorps able to break the Dutch, and it looks like the Dutch are doing a mass retreat over here. And oh my god, is this Prussia charging in more cav from the other side? Yes, we have some Prussian hussars cleaning up these Dutch line infantry, and that's gonna, well, I mean, I don't want to say it, but that might be it for the Dutch. I don't think they're gonna recover from this. I mean, they only have like 3 units of line infantry left. And then in the center, Great Britain is just getting shelled to death over here. But he does have most of his forces. Looks like he is going to cross the bridge here against the Great Stake Defense. Look at that, 3 layers of stakes. Great Britain on the other side, they are going to retreat and go up this hill. Again, it seems like they're just trying to kite the enemy and try to slow them down as long as possible. Meanwhile, well, Actually, Russia's hanging on over here. I was going to say that Prussia and Great Britain, they're double teaming Russia, and it looks like it's game over for Russia, but they are hanging on by a thread. So amazingly enough, he's got his musketeers over here holding back the enemy against, what, some Prussian Fusiliers. So a pretty intense gunfight there. We do have a tree line battle on this side. We got more musketeers firing at the Prussian position. And Russia, is he actually charging in with bayonets? It looks like he's got his lifeguard foot, which is actually a really good unit for charging into bayonets. I think he should just continue to push. I don't know where he's going. He should just keep charging in with the bayonets, try to take out the Landwehr over here, which is no match. But he does have more support moving up this way, more lifeguard foot. So epic watching them march in position. They should be able to give some supporting fire and take out what's left of Prussia. And amazingly enough, Russia is turning this battle around and breaking the double team. But it's still going to be very challenging. They still have a lot of forces to deal with. So I can't say that it's going to be a victory just yet for Russia. But it's a pretty amazing that they're holding on for dear life. And that balance of power is in favor of the Prussian-British alliance. All right, let's see what's going on over here, though, because, yep, the Dutch are just, I think they're just trying to slow down the Prussian advance, maybe trying to buy time for their allies. It's not looking good for this side, not at all. The the Dutch, British, Russian alliance. They're really struggling here. That double team, I mean, Prussia and Great Britain, they did some great teamwork there to be able to cut down these armies. But let's see what the Dutch can do here. Maybe they can turn it around. Maybe they can save some of their forces. You got your ally, or the Dutch, they have their allies, Cav over here kind of running around, maybe looking for a good opportunity to strike. But let's see what happens. All right, so we'll go back to other parts of the battle. Or Great Britain versus Great Britain, where it's getting a little confusing, but you can see that they're crossing the river here, and now in a pretty intense gunfight to take this hill against the, what is this? The rifles. Yeah, they're getting evaporated. They're getting cut down like a hot knife through butter. I really need to make that a t-shirt, you know? Like, what do you guys think? Just having like a picture of a knife and it says hot knife, and then a picture of butter. That would be pretty cool. I would get that. I would get that. Alright, some more foot guard. Just breaking the Brits here. Red coats versus red coats. It's a very tragic sight, but that is war for you, and that is especially the Civil War for you. He's got his 5-inch howitzer. This is the red British here trying to break down the blue British advance. But this is going to be very challenging. Even though they outnumber the blue British, they are getting cut down because of the terrain advantage that the red British have. So they're just trying to break through and then support Russia in their fight. Russia's still hanging on. It looks like they are also doing a tactical retreat here. They cannot withstand the enemy artillery and that infantry advance, so they're going to fall back to, it looks like they're going to fall back to the hills here and try to hold back. There are some troops moving forward here. He's got his lifeguard foot, maybe trying to beat him and get in a better position and fire first. It looks like he is going to get some flanking shots here on that, I think, foot marching by. So he is trying to get some good hits wherever he can find them, but we do have Prussia with their foot guards moving forward from the tree line. We can see that. Oh, look at that. That is so sick. Seeing the artillery crash in, the lines of infantry moving forward. Russia's not going to completely fall back. He is moving back forward, and he's going to fight for the tree line right here. He's setting up his troops. Prussia, they're kind of still setting up here, so this could be a huge advantage for Russia. If I was Russia, I would move forward. I would get as many guns firing at once and just try to pepper down all these troops that are out of formation, trying to line up and face Russia. But it seems like Russia's going to take a slow advance here and just hold his ground, which is still not a terrible idea. I just think he missed an opportunity there to really push forward. But there are some troops over here that are, you know, protecting the tree line. But look at all of the troops moving forward. That's got to be terrifying if you are Russia. Just seeing the mass number of Prussian forces. And he's doing is he charging in with bayonets? Is he pulling a Russia right here? Is that what he's doing? I think so. Yes, he's going to charge in with everything. I think he realizes that he has the numbers, and he's going to settle this with bloody bayonets. So he's charging in. Now Russia's going to do a counter charge. It's going to be a very difficult situation for Russia, but if they can hold on, if they can hold out. Now a lot of these forces are landwehr, so they're pretty crap. So maybe he can mass break them. So here's a bird's eye view of the situation. Prussia, you're missing an opportunity here, Prussia. So Prussia, they could have flanked around with their extra troops and just, you know, surround the Russian forces, but instead they're blobbing up their troops here, which is very, very unfortunate. And the fight is going in the favor of Russia. We have the general trying to, you know, give morale, extra morale to the forces. We have some British forces trying to hold on for dear life over here. And Russia is turning this battle around because of the careless mistake from Prussia. But it's still not over. It's still not over. Prussia still has a lot of forces in the fight. He's got some musketeers flanking around these lifeguard foot, which is a very good unit, so they should hold out for a while. We have more troops charging into the fray. And then we've got some troops flanking around. It looks like we got some Jaegers. They're going to fire at the backs of the Russian forces, which is really good. All right, so real quick, let's see what's going on in the center, because we do have a pretty bloody bloodbath over here. So we have blue British taking on red British. We do have some blue British forces, some rifles actually charging into melee. Why? Why? This is not going to be good. This is not going to be a victory for blue Great Britain. But maybe. And then look at this. We got some foot flanking around. I mean, it's so hard to tell who's who, but I'm pretty sure the red British are going to win this one. Yep, look, the rifles are just not good in melee. They do not carry bayonets. It makes their guns less accurate. So, you know, they've got those longer rifles with the longer barrels. So their shots are a bit more accurate. And they have a bit more range. But yeah, that's not a good start for Great Britain. Oh, but we have another fallen general. Abraham Beef, Russian's general, dies trying to protect his Russian infantry, and Prussia, just with purely with muscle, gonna be able to break down this Russian line. But who knows? It's not over. I mean, Russia's still standing. Russia's still fighting. And this is a really close battle over here. It looks like it's down to 2 units, but Russia's gonna win this one. And we have some Russian Jaegers actually charging in as well. Look at the officer blade, saber up, man, saber up, cutting down the retreating forces. And Russia might actually win this one, even with their general dying on the battlefield. Prussia, all they really have is their general and some artillery. That was a really risky move there from Prussia. He really missed the opportunity of flanking with his, superior numbers, having more numbers. And now Russia is going to be able to be victorious here, charging in the rifles, surrounding the Prussian life. Let's see, what is this? Musketeers. In the general's bodyguard, they're cleaning up the mess. And that's going to be it for Prussia. And now Russia is victorious. But do they have enough? Can they win this? Because Great Britain on this side, red Great Britain, they are winning. They are defeating blue Great Britain. And then over here, the Dutch, well, they're taking on a massive force from Prussia. So it's not looking great for the Dutch alliance, which, I'll just call for short, which is Dutch, Russia, and Great Britain. So they're going to fall back once again. It looks like they're doing everything they can to slow down. I like that. I like the fact that he's not quitting. He's constantly kiting the Prussian forces here and just not giving up. And that's buying time for his allies. Even though his allies are, well, it looks like they're going to be defeated today. Yeah, it still gives them a chance, right? But yeah, the redcoats here cutting down the retreating forces. And they might all be retreating. That might be the case. They're going to fall back and put up their last stand. Not really sure. Russia just holding out in the trees here. Russia, I mean, at this point, Russia's pretty much defeated. I mean, they won their battle, but their army is so depleted, so small, that they really can't change anything. The balance of power is way in favor of the other, the Prussian alliance. So, oh, we got a charge here. We got some Freikorps not letting these troops escape. So they're going to try to, oh, wait, there's a counter charge there. And they actually hold them off, and they're going to, oh, they're getting, oh, we killed, wait, hold on, whose general is this? Wait, yeah, seriously, who's general? Who's general? Was it the Prussian general? Wait, I know it's not the Russian general. I assume it's the Prussian general. I guess. I don't know, but one of the generals are dead, so that's pretty huge. That could change things. The Dutch are falling back. So what we're going to do here, guys, is fast forward. I might cut this out. Actually, you know what? No. Okay, this is good. So the red Great Britain, they're actually pursuing the enemy forces. And they're going to cut down the Dutch, who are trying to retreat back to their allies. He's got his foot over here, spraying them down. So I thought that they were all going to join up for their final last stand. But Great Britain is trying to prevent that. So that is very wise from them. The Dutch are actually going to stop running here and fight back, stand their ground, maybe fight their way through the situation. Oh, God, did you see this flying Dutch? Oh, the flying Dutchman. That's how he was created. All right, so yeah, he's going to charge in. He might be out of ammo over here. He's been fighting for a long time on this flank. So here we go, the charge, great bayonet charge, and the Brits are going to charge in, counter charge. It's going to be a close fight, though. I think the Dutch have a bit more numbers, but we got another regiment of foot guard. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, the foot guard are going to turn this battle around. But the balance of power is actually turning in, well, I don't know. I don't know, but this is what's left of the blue British here. The British that are allies with the Dutch. And the Dutch they broke one of the foots, amazingly enough. But they do have to fight the foot guard now, which is going to be a whole different story. And the Dutch are they running away? What are they doing? It's like they're running through them. Yeah, there's a very strange situation going on here. The line infantry, okay, they're going to go back into fighting here, but they should break against the foot guard. Yep, there they go. So that's going to be it for them. And now the Dutch are surrounded over here, and we have a charge by the Freikorps to finish the job here and cut down the Dutch forces. And that's going to be it for them. So this is what we have left. We have the small British force, and we have a small Russian force that is way out of position. There's like at this point they need to unite forces and try to turn this one around if they can with a solid force, a united force. We'll see what happens here though. I mean, there's still a lot of this Prussian army, they've seen a lot of victories today. I mean, they have such healthy numbers that it seems nearly impossible for them to turn this around. But I've seen crazier things. I've seen canister shot mow down entire armies. So let's see what happens. We're gonna fast forward though. Oh, we do have a cav charge coming in, so we'll play this. He's got his Freikorps, the suicide Freikorps, who charged in very scary situations. About to do one more charge, but they're gonna break right before. Yeah, I saw that coming. And they are using canister shot at this this crossing here, which could be huge because that's the only way to get across. I mean, there's more ways to get across, but that's just gonna take forever. So that canister shot, what Prussia needs to do against that canister shot is move up like skirmishers, light infantry, and try to kill them from afar. But the only thing about that is that there are some rifles watching and waiting to support their artillery. Also, we got the 42nd Highland Foot, or the Black Watch, and they are pretty much untouched. So that's a pretty solid unit right there. The Prussians trying to move up on the edge of this river, trying to fire, but it looks like the Great Britain, they saw that and they're going to retreat back. And this is the final stand. I love battles that end like this. You know, when one team is decisively losing and they turn it around or close to turning it around. I love when players just, you know, they don't quit, they keep fighting. It's always pretty great. I think you should switch to standard shot here. They do have to be careful with the enemy artillery, which they are moving up, the horse artillery. So they might just outshoot them here, which is probably the best decision because they could lose this entire army to that canister shot. So here we go. Here comes that horse artillery. And the Russians are actually falling back and joining up with their British allies. So let's actually fast forward here a little bit. For time's sake, we're not really missing much here. Let's see, Prussia, they've got their artillery set up. They're now firing at their position. That's usually the best strategy here since you have the advantage. I believe they do have more artillery back here. They should, yeah. The British, the Red British, they have their artillery moving forward. The 5-inch howitzer, which is really going to do a lot of damage. So that, oh, here's another artillery piece, the 6-pounder horse artillery. Again, all the Prussian artillery is pretty much untouched. They were very victorious in their battle. But look at this. They're losing a couple here and there. So, you know, Great Britain, they're not going out without a fight. They're holding on. And here comes Russia, the reinforcements. Great Britain, it looks like they lost a couple pieces here. At least one piece, I believe. I don't see it destroyed, so maybe it's... Well, maybe they haven't. I don't know. Alright, guys, so I made a cut there. Just cutting out this bombardment phase. Nothing really going on. Just lots of artillery firing. But we do have a flank here from Great Britain moving up his 2-foot guard to push. You see that they went around this side here. So they crossed this river right here, this land bridge. And now they're fighting off the 42nd Foot, which is going to be a very difficult task. But they do outnumber them. And we have Russia pushing forward, moving up their lifeguard foot. So I really hope that this is like an epic last stand. I don't want this to end with like everyone breaking and there wasn't an actual like assault. You know, they didn't actually try to take out the defense with a ton of troops. That would be kind of sad. But the 42nd, watch, they're charging in. Look at this. That or they're just getting closer. All right. Hopefully they can get into melee before they get another volley here. Oh yeah, they need to. Oh no, so close. So close to charging that line, and that's probably going to be the deal breaker right there. I mean, that was the last solid infantry for this final stand, and now we have grenadiers charging across a unit of 58. They're going to feel the wrath of the canister shot, but the artillery is getting suppressed by the other artillery. There we go. Here's that canister shot. Oh, just melting their faces. So they're holding on for dear life. They're putting up a great fight. Here we go. Let's see this. Come on. Come on, what? Another good shot here. Oh, yep. I just like how they flop dead. Like, nah. Dead. Canister shot. You'd think you'd see them, like, you know, struggling on the ground. Oof, God, just melting these guys. Evaporating them. Great Britain still pushing over here. And they're still retreating. They're falling back again. But here's the great charge. Oh, this is where he can really rack up some kills. Here comes these musketeers. Oh yeah, okay, so this is Prussia's only option. They want to end this battle. They don't want this to go on forever. So they're pushing in their troops, but they are losing a lot of troops. And this is the final stand here, guys. I highly doubt they're going to win this one, but they will not go out without a fight. And that is what we love to see here on Total War Battles. Here's that charge. He's going to charge into, oh, we got a general dead on the battlefield. Come on, one more volley. There we go. Break him, break him, break him. Come on, hurry up. Fire, 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 fire. Nope, that was it. That's it for the artillery. That's most likely it for the battle. So Great Britain also pushing on this flank. Russia setting up their line infantry. This is the final stand of Russia and the final assault of Great Britain. Are they going to charge into... do they have... Yes, they're charging into melee. Quick, 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 quick. Oh, they time it just right. They do not get a volley off. Let's see if they can break their forces. They might be able to. The balance or the morale here, well, I don't know. Oh, yes, they're breaking them. Excellent. Excellent. And the artillery is lost. Prussia continuing to charge in with their musketeers. But again, I don't see Russia turning this one around with their 2 units of infantry. So we will just fast forward to the very end. And that is going to conclude our battle here today. It wasn't exactly close. It wasn't. But it was very interesting. Very intense, action-packed. Russia doing an excellent job getting the most kills. He did a great job of turning this battle over here around, but it just wasn't enough to save his team. Over on this side, Nat doing the best, getting 1,495 kills. He did an excellent job of supporting his allies. So good game to him, and good game to all the players. That was amazing. So thank you, Abraham B, for sending in this battle replay, and thank you for sending in a defeat, because, you know, most people don't do that, and then people won't assume that you won, you know, or they might assume, but they'll be wrong at the end of the battle. So, yeah, that concludes our battle today. 426 kills with the lifeguard foot, which is crazy. That's a crazy amount. So good job to that unit. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like and share and leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't and you want to see more epic battles. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.